experience in triathlon, or are you?
And now I've kind of focused to, one, where am I going to pee? And two, is everything as it should be on my bike?
Yeah, I know, especially in a lot of those first races, especially the half Ironmans and the full Ironmans, I think a lot of your concerns were, can I even make the swim cutoff? Like, those were legitimate concerns, and I know, like, the nerves of that, I can't even imagine. I know that that's
I cut it close a time or two.
Pretty intense. For me, I am a bucket of nerves, and I'm probably thinking of all the things, like, did I forget this? Where did I put that? Oh my gosh, I need to look one more time. I need to make sure this is good. How many buoys are there again? And even though I've done this multiple times, I don't know. Oh no, we have some issues with the crew. We have some issues. Let's see.
Maybe some technical issues.
Here.
We need to pause.
Let's pause this. Let's pause, and we will be right back. So if you're having issues as well, let us know. I do see some errors. Let's do something here. Okay, we're back. I don't know what's going on. Thank you to the crew that's telling us that you were stuck. I'm not sure. It looks good on our end, so if you notice any more issues still going on, let us know in the chat. Hopefully we can get through this. But
live broadcast.
That's what it is. Hey, we've made it through 7 weeks before we had any technical glitches, so grateful for that. But I'll wrap up just saying that, you know, I'm usually a bucket of nerves. I'm thinking as soon as I get my face in the water, I am probably going to be fine. And just until that point, it's like just so nervous. Even though I've done this for many years, it hasn't changed. It hasn't stopped. So as soon as my face hits the water, I think everything just kind of washes away with the water, and then it's on with the race. So let's head on to our first topic of the night. All right, so our sport is burdened, I think, by all of the technology. Don't get me wrong, I am a tech nerd. I have almost all the fancy tech that you can get. I am enamored with it. I like to learn about it. How can this help me?
Hence the live broadcast that she's putting on.
But at the same time, I think sometimes we forget to really be in the moment of a race, to feel the race and to feel ourselves in the race. So the question is, can we actively and successfully train and race only by feel?
I want to say yes, absolutely we can, because most likely a lot of us, our very first try was probably done by feel. We didn't have all these nifty gadgets. Well, at least when I started triathlon, I don't even know if I had a heart rate monitor on my first one. I honestly don't think I had any data for the exception of my start and finish time on my very first triathlon.
And maybe an old Timex watch where you could see the time, and that's all you could really see. There was no pace.
That was it. No pace, power, cadence. That wasn't. So yes, RPE, rate of perceived effort, I think really is a great scale that we should all learn as triathletes, because it can happen in the event of an actual race. What if your Garmin doesn't connect to your power meter, or whatever watch you use, something doesn't connect properly? then you just have to go off of how you feel. And if you haven't been in tune to yourself during your training, race day, you're going to be so flustered and you're not going to know what to do. But if you've been training using an RPE scale, then if something happens on race day, you'll be okay. You'll be able to manage and get through it.
I'll take that one step further and say that if you don't want to spend the money on a power meter, you don't want to do the FTP testing, you don't want a fancy Garmin or Wahoo watch that costs $700 or $800, there is nothing wrong with that. And that is where the rate of perceived effort or rate of perceived exertion, RPE, comes into play. And I think that we can all get back to training like that. Or if you're new to the sport, don't feel guilty if that is how you're training. And the RPE scale is 1 to 10. 1 is like easy peasy, like you're crawling, you're not even breaking, an effort. And 10 is as hard as you can go, and usually that effort doesn't last very long. So in that scale of 1 to 10, there are different ranges where you train at, so that first of all, you train your body to go at different efforts depending on the race distance, the race goals, but also you know what that feels like. And like Caitlin said, if that technology, if you do like that technology, again, nothing wrong with that either. But if you do like the technology and you do have the technology and then on race morning it doesn't connect or it's dead, you forgot your chargers, that happens. You have to trust your body and you have to know what these efforts feel like. And I like the point that Dana makes, is that Sam Long just did 70.3 Boise and he didn't even use a bike computer. And maybe that's the new trend. Maybe that's the direction that we're going, is that we get so in tune with our bodies that we do that. And I tell you what, it's cheaper. We always talk about the barriers to entry in the sport being cost. We don't need all the fancy gadgets. We can train by that. And, my very first triathlon training plan was by RPE. Probably my first year to 2 years in the sport was by RPE, a little free plan that I got off of Beginner Triathlete, RIP. Great website back in the day, doesn't exist anymore, but it's out there. And those are ways that you can really learn to trust your body, learn to go by feel. So, yeah. And then, data, sometimes they say data doesn't lie, but at the same time, it can trick you into thinking you're holding yourself back or you're going too strong. And the more that you know about your body, the better you can be.
Right, yeah. And David makes a great point. You need to train at your race pace so your body knows what that race pace is. So come race day, you know what to do with or without any data that you may or may not have. And I always think it's funny. You can always tell the difference between a triathlete in a lap lane and a swimmer in a lap lane, because
Guilty.
we triathletes, we hit that wall and we're looking at the data. What's it tell us?
Not
But
the wall clock.
not the wall clock. The swimmers, they don't even wear watches. They're like, what are you doing? Just swim. So that's what we need to do. We just need to swim, bike, run, and go off of feel sometimes.
Yeah, take a challenge this week or next week in one of your workouts. Train just by feel and tell us how it goes for you, and
You can
we'll start a trend.
Yeah, you can manually put a workout in Strava if you're worried about your Strava.
That's what it's all about, right? Okay, I do not blame the person who asked the question to be
don't
asking
either.
anonymously. Do you wear underwear?
Because personally, I didn't know this when I started the sport. I had no idea. This one right here had to fill me in on a thing or two.
I mean, and to be honest, when I first started triathlon and even just road cycling, someone had to educate me that no, you do not wear undergarments under your bike shorts or your tri-suit, because it causes chafing and it's just not comfortable. And the shorts are made to be padded and protected, and they're made for the sport, and that's all you need. I also like David's timely comment.
Great segue.
I don't think he saw the topic change when he was talking about training naked, and now we're talking about underwear. So this show is and Caitlin was talking about tinkling in the start shoot. So this show's just gone off the rails. I don't know, something going on. Is Mercury in retrograde? But yeah, so yes, no, you do not wear underwear under your suit. Of course, ladies wear the sports bra top, but some tri kits even have the sports bra top already built in. Most of them do, but yeah, no, do not wear the underwear, or else you're gonna be feeling it.
And depending on your distance of whatever triathlon you're doing, you might wear a different type of kit, like sprint, Olympic, half Ironmans. You're gonna wear a tri kit, but if you get to a full Ironman, you might end up wearing cycling shorts on the bike portion, because we have the option to go into a changing tent in T2, and then at that point, if you want to just change into some running gear, that's an option too. So there are various possible outfit changes throughout a triathlon.
Yeah, usually in the shorter triathlons, there's not a dedicated space or change tent. So wear what you're comfortable in, that you can swim, bike, and run in. And it might be different for everybody. Some people might be fine in just a swimsuit for a sprint triathlon. Now, obviously make sure that you know the local rules as far as like covering your top for the gentlemen especially. Make sure that you're within the rules, but again, you can essentially wear whatever you are comfortable in. If you don't want to go spending money on a tri kit, that's perfectly fine. Some half Ironmans do have change tents, very few, but the full Ironman distance, at least for the Ironman branded races, do have change tents. And when we've done our full Ironmans, that's what we've opted to do, was to change between, pretty much change between all the legs. Now, we swam in what we biked in. If we wore a wetsuit or a swim skin, obviously we ditched that. But we had our, kit on for what we would cycle in, which was essentially it was a tri kit. When we finished the bike, we went into the change tent again, and we made a full change. And we went into running shorts, sports bra, dry tank top. And I tell you, for me, that was nice, because it kind of symbolized a fresh start.
A refresh.
And it felt nice. Even though it was temporary, it felt nice to have some clean, dry clothes on. And I think it just kind of gave the brain a little bit of a boost to know that, this is a new, fresh leg, you're starting over. And that's what I personally did. Would I continue with that trend? Probably, if for the next full Ironman that we do. But kits now also have evolved, and they're pretty comfortable, so you could get away with wearing the same thing, and most people do. That was just, my preference at the time.
And I think Dana makes a good point here. I think most triathletes, we are very comfortable in our bodies and very comfortable when it comes to change tents in a full Ironman. So, a little bit going back and forth here right quick. If you're looking for a volunteer position that really makes like a significant difference in an athlete's day, change tent is where it is. I mean, we volunteered before, and it was just like, you're gonna make a difference.
You just help the athletes kind of get their bearings, get situated, and sometimes you're essentially just helping them think through the next thing, because a lot of emotions and feelings and stress go through your brain during the Ironman and in the change tent. Yeah, it's a pretty powerful position. That and finish line catcher.
Yeah, but dry clothes, Colin, going from all the water and sweat from a 112-mile bike ride, nice dry clothes is quite welcomed.
All right, so that is the aid station. Hey, if you have a question that you would like to ask, we are open for submissions at the aid station, so you can go to teamsaunderstri.com/ask, and we would love to get your questions and feature them on the next Race Mighty Live, and maybe even answer them on our website or use them as content on our Instagram. We just want to educate and help grow the sport and help people feel more comfortable. And the more questions that you ask that maybe we don't think of, are helpful to the rest of the triathlon community. So let's make it more welcoming and more inviting. So head on over to the aid station and ask your question, or you know where to find us by now, right? All right, let's move on to the next topic. All right, our favorite. This is not Oprah's My Favorite Things, but this is Team Saunders Tri, our favorite. And this week, we're talking about our favorite gear. And this could be training or racing or just our favorite gear. What is your favorite gear? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to see an array of responses, what you like to train with, what you like to race with, what you just cannot get through the day if you do not have in your arsenal. But we're going to share ours.
Yeah, my favorite gear is my running vest. For years and years and years, I always had a running belt, and it kind of bounced around on my back, and I just got used to it. It was something
to clarify, a hydration belt where you kept your water bottles.
Right. Yeah. So it was around my waist, and it kept it held two 22-ounce bottles. So I had a lot of hydration on me, but the downfall was it just kind of bounced around, and I can go on and on. But just several months ago, I invested in a hydration vest, and I put this off for so long because, I already had a hydration belt, and I didn't want to spend the money, but I think this one kind of edged me on a little bit, and I purchased one, and it was the best purchase I have made triathlon-wise in probably at least the last year. I love this vest. I can hold so much hydration. I can hold so many gels, and if you've probably seen some of our content, there's been some running content, and you'd be like, how did she get that? Well, it's probably because I'm carrying a small handheld drone in my vest. So there's so many pockets. It's so useful for us, and that's been my
She's
favorite.
like a kangaroo pulling things out of this vest. I swear, the pouches just go on. I think there's 8 different pouches on this running vest, and it's amazing. And it is probably the best investment for her. And it doesn't shake, it doesn't bounce
move
around
at all.
Yeah. And it's light, spot. So it's not it doesn't make you hot. It doesn't add to.
No, not at all.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was a great investment.
Awesome. The Nox Gear light vest for Dana. Yeah, especially running at night. Yeah, I want to be lit up like a traffic cone, flashing lights at night if I'm running.
Oh my gosh, real quick. 10 years ago, we each had a reflective vest that had lights.
Flashed. Yeah, we ran a lot at night.
Yeah, we did. I think there was some neighborhood kid that said that we were running Christmas trees. Remember that? Oh my gosh.
I don't remember that. I remember the vests. Those vests were amazing.
They were. I think we just recently got rid of them.
Probably because we really don't run at night. No. We run bright and early in the morning, which I guess same thing, dark and early. Okay, so my favorite gear are swim fins. I know it sounds
That's a good one.
cheap. I know it sounds boring, but I like my swim fins. I'm a swimmer. I love to swim, but when you're doing the swim, bike, and run and have all the demand on your legs, when I get to the pool and I'm going through my warm-up, I like to kind of have an easy, ease into the workout. And with the fins, I use them as part of my warm-up, not exclusively, but I use the fins to kind of help shake the legs out, just kind of easy kicking, just get the feel for the water. And those fins are very good for that purpose. And so I'm not dragging my legs around, but they're also starting to get the blood flow in the circulation, and it feels good. The other thing about fins is that I can use them in the main set. If I want to do fast fins, which is also one of my favorite swim workouts, is basically swim as fast as you can with fins on, and you feel like you're flying. I mean, still not as fast as Michael Phelps, but like you feel so fast. But it also, making yourself swim fast and having the fins to kind of just tap into that effort that you can give really helps you kind of acclimate to how hard swimming is, and working on your breathing, working on your stroke, and really keeping things in line. So for me, I like it for that purpose. But then also, I'll throw them on at the cool down. There is not a single swim cool down that I do without fins. 200 easy fins. It's nice. And sometimes, with the kickboard, just easy kicking, let the legs shake out, get all the lactic acid out. And yeah, so I think the fins are like a big bang for my buck. In the pool, I'm able to use them in a multitude of ways. I do not use them exclusively. I do not use them as a crutch, but I find a purpose, and I use that within my training with a specific purpose. So those are my favorite. David likes that 965 watch, which, yeah, that's good, especially for the safety, purposes.
That's a
And we
great
also,
feature.
we've also, I think we have the 955, but it also has the accident tracking. Look, I know we were bashing technology a couple segments ago, and now we're talking about how amazing these watches are. But yes, there are many pros and cons, but the safety aspect and being able to track. And then, of course, yes, to look at your stats, to see how far you've come over the years. That's a good way to use it as well. So I do agree. I do
I'm not
like.
gonna lie, the stats are motivating.
I like my technology. All right, we made it to the finish line, y'all. All right. Well, we have made it to the dog days of summer. We are in August. Back to school, at least in our part of the world, is very close. Thankfully, neither one of us have to worry about any of that nonsense.
I don't think our kids
Our
are going
four-legged,
to be
our
going.
four-legged crew is not going back to school, but we don't have any races in the race roll call happening this weekend, but we do have several races that are kind of picking up later in the month of August.
It's going to be a busy month.
And then September, October, December, there are races in race
Yes.
roll call across the board. Most of you have added your races, but if you are watching for the first time, go add your name on the list. We've got 5 of you racing Ironman California. We've got 5 of you racing 70.3 Augusta, including Colin. And then we've got 70.3 World Championship. We've got Cozumel. We've got 70.3 and the full. We've got Northern California, which I think is next weekend, the 16th, I believe.
Dana, is that
Dana,
you?
yeah,
I
that's
think
Dana.
you.
That's Dana.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a week from now. And then, just a lot of races. So my question is the race season winding down or just ramping up? We are over halfway through the year, but it seems like the calendar's just exploded.
Is the glass half full, half empty? Same question, We've got some great races coming up, and we're excited to follow some of y'all that have put your races on our calendar. That gives us something to look forward to, because right now we don't have a whole lot on our personal calendar, so we're racing vicariously through all of y'all.
Yeah. Another thing I was going to talk about the season winding down. When I first got into the sport, I think, and even our first few years after we met and we were racing together, our season ended in August. We would usually do like a local sprint triathlon the first or second weekend in August, and that was it. I think one year we went maybe into the second or third weekend of August with an Olympic distance race. But after that, it was like, and this tells you how much we've learned over the years, is that after that last race we did in August, we probably didn't get on the bike or really do much running or swimming for 3 or 4 more months until
No
we
lie.
realized, oh shoot, we're signed up for 70.3 Texas. We should start training in December. And, that was before we learned that it was better, even if we weren't doing full-scale training in the off-season, it was better to stay on the bike, it was better to get out the door and run, and it was better to swim.
Oh, it was. It was hard coming back after 3-4 months of not really doing a whole lot. Now, we did do some running because we had some running races, but getting back on the bike and into the pool was hard. So these past several years, we have learned to just kind of maintain, so when it's really time to start training, we are ready to go.
And we're not chasing fitness. We're not trying to get back where we were at the end of the season because we'd lose that fitness. So, you don't have to go out and crush the numbers. You don't have to go do these hero workouts, but even doing just a little bit is good. But I laugh now because it seems like, aside from the last year and a half, it's kind of been a weird couple years for us. We did races in December. We did the World Championship, 70.3 World Championship in New Zealand in December. We've done 70.3 Indian Wells in
That's in
December. So the race season, who knows when it really starts and finishes, but it's really nice. I like the idea of a year-round season. I like the idea of having a lot of races to look forward to this fall to cheer a lot of you on.
Yeah, and Colin makes a great point here. We do a Saturday group ride, and while we're riding on Zwift, we're also watching College Game Day, and we're big fans of college football.
Yeah, so we usually get on the bike right before College Game Day starts, 8 o'clock Central Time, and we usually ride pretty much until the first games kick off at 11 a.m. So we can get a nice long ride in, our brains are occupied, we can chat back and forth with Colin about whatever story. It's really just a fun way to kind of keep things going and keep that consistency. So I say this, and we haven't been the most consistent, but I think at some point we need to just sit down, look at the schedule, and actually sign up for a race that's not a relay. I mean, no, not knocking relays, but I think we need to just buckle down.
I can get on this train.
And I think one of them needs to be an Ironman next year.
Just putting it out there.
Thank y'all for joining us. Sorry about the technical issues. Not sure what that was, but if you joined us live or if you're watching this on replay, we really appreciate you. And stay tuned, and we will see you back here next week. Same time, 7 to 5, Wednesday, Central Time. Appreciate y'all.
Have a great day.